Alright, let's talk about Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight was an indie game that was originally one of the first real Kickstarter success stories. Yacht Club Games were originally looking for $75,000 to make their game, but received over 4 times that amount from Kickstarter backers. The end result was one of the most fun and polished 2D platformers in a very, very long time. The game puts you in control of the titular knight who is on a quest to the dreaded Tower of Fate, armed with only his trusty shovel. And if you think a shovel isn't a dangerous weapon, you've probably never seen Evil Dead 2. You see, Shovel Knight has some serious issues with the Tower of Fate. He'd originally tried to climb it with his comrade / love of his life, Shield Knight. Unfortunately, Shield Knight gets annihilated by some sort of strange magic, and Shovel Knight only survives to live a life of solitude, grief, and farming. Sometime later, a horrible new villainess emerges called the Enchantress, who tries to take over the land with the help of her 8 Knights of No Quarter. Shovel Knight comes out of retirement to take them all head on, get to the Tower of Fate, face down the Enchantress, and save the world. So Shovel Knight is heavily influenced by earlier NES titles. As a matter of fact, you can make an excellent drinking game out of a playthrough of Shovel Knight. Just take a drink every time you see a classic video game get referenced. Oh, Mega Man. Oh, hey, DuckTales. Okay, another Mega Man reference. Oh, another DuckTales one. Mega Man 3 or 7, I guess. Rocket Knight Adventures 2? Okay. Oh, come on! Oh, Mario 3. Adventures of Link? Simon's Quest? Link's Awakening? Oh, Castlevania. Oh, for fuck's sake. Mega Man again? Oh, this was a bad idea. This was such a bad idea. Oh, my head. But borrowing from the greats isn't necessarily a bad thing, certainly not with Shovel Knight. The game's controls and level design result in a gameplay experience that's challenging but never unfair. The core gameplay feels like a mixture of Mega Man, DuckTales, Castlevania, as well as a score of others. And if you're going to take some inspiration from some older games, there's definitely some worse titles you can go with. The game has a main map very similar to Super Mario Bros. 3. And in addition to the 8 main levels of the game, there's other areas you can explore as well. You can enter a village area that allows you to do things like talk to villagers, increase your maximum health and magic, buy new items, and play a minigame for more gold. You can even make a little extra gold on the side by selling songs you find to this spoony-looking bard here. Scattered throughout each level are hidden areas that can produce extra health, gold, and even hidden rooms. There's a good number of these rooms hidden away in every stage, and each one offers a simple but challenging platforming section that really makes you earn that prize at the end. Sometimes it's a new song for the village bard, sometimes it's just more gold, and sometimes it's a brand new rune weapon you can equip, but only if you buy it from that asshole merchant that gets there right before you every time. The soundtrack for Shovel Knight is one of the most consistently engaging scores I've heard in a very, very long time. The game's music is presented in the old NES chiptune format, and you can really hear the Mega Man and DuckTales influence all over the entire thing. That Mega Man influence is especially appropriate because a few of the game's tracks were actually worked on by Manami Matsume, who had worked on previous titles such as the original Mega Man and the more recent Mega Man 10. However, the majority of Shovel Knight's music was composed by Jake Kaufman, who had worked previously on games such as Contra 4 on the DS and the Shantae series. Shovel Knight was released on a wide variety of consoles, with even more on the way. You can play Shovel Knight on the Wii U, Steam, PlayStation 3, 4, and the Vita, the Nintendo 3DS, and the Xbox One. That is a very nice variety of platforms to choose from. In addition to all of that, you could even get bonus content that was exclusive to the version you own. Wii U owners could purchase a Shovel Knight amiibo that would allow you to unlock new challenge stages, custom gear, as well as a co-op mode. 3DS owners were treated with a Street Pass combat system, and both versions featured touchscreen support. Sony's exclusive was flashier and less costly than Nintendo's. It gave you a boss fight with the God of War himself, Kratos. The Steam version of the game got, well, they got Jack. But I want to talk about the Xbox One version for a minute. This chart here represents the number of Shovel Knight copies sold per console. As you'll probably see, the Xbox One didn't quite sell as well as, say, the 3DS or Steam. And that's a shame too, because of all the exclusive content on all of the platforms, easily the coolest was the addition of Battletoads on the Xbox One. That's right, by uncovering a secret room in the Hall of Champions, you can access the Battletoads from the main map. That is, of course, after you pony up 5,000 gold and defeat all of the ghosts in the place. Because that Peacock and that other guy just really suck as people. You'll get to fight all 3 Battletoads one after the other. First, you'll fight Zitz in a battle down the Wookiee hole from level 2 of the original game. After you defeat Zitz, you'll get to race Pimple in a battle across the infamous Turbo Tunnel. And anybody who remembers the Turbo Tunnel from the original Battletoads game can appreciate just how difficult that stage is to beat normally, let alone while you're in combat. Finally, you'll get to fight Rash in one-on-one combat while the other two Toads keep jumping in to assist. Kind of like Captain Commando in Marvel vs. Capcom. When you finally defeat all 3 Toads, you'll be rewarded with the Toad Gear, a green set of armor that gives you a moveset similar to Battletoads on the original Nintendo. The armor even gives you similar sound effects. You'll probably find yourself switching armor before too long, but it's a radical reward for a radical cameo. Even Professor T-Bird makes an appearance. But regardless of what console you play it on, Shovel Knight is an incredibly fun, retro-inspired 2D platformer that really acts as a love letter to the games of old. The game offers tight controls, fun and challenging level design, an amazing soundtrack, and hilariously goofy dialogue, all hiding an incredibly touching story that'll completely catch you off your guard, even on a second playthrough. And that's to say nothing of the completely free DLC, Plague of Shadows, that gives you an entire new game and story with one of the Knights of No Quarter, Plague Knight. But that's a story for another time. With 2 full quests to play through and even more on the way, it's never been a better time to dig into Shovel Knight. Hey everybody, Tim here. Thanks for watching. This video was inspired by the Cartridge Club, who currently have Shovel Knight as their game of the month. You can find out more about it and get in on the discussion by checking out cartridgeclub.org. And let us know below what you thought of Shovel Knight. Thanks again, I'm Tim from Haruokay. Stay tuned.